Hey guys, Furum here, and I will be your co-host in the Asphalt 9 Finals for the ESL Mobile Open Fall 2021 season. Today I'm going to be giving you a recap of the third week of qualifiers, showing you the runs from the winners of both iOS and Android, and then comparing and contrasting the two. Be on the lookout for a fourth weekly recap ahead of the finals, which will be held on September 12th and co-hosted by me and Furum and perhaps another special guest. So be sure to stay tuned, and without further ado, let us get into this week's Android winner, Diesel Dragon, who is returning from a previous week. In this third qualifier, players used the Bugatti Chiron on Downtown Rise, a variant of San Francisco. The usual strategy at the beginning of this track is to drift back and forth at the very beginning. This is known as wiggle drifting, to save up enough nitro to be able to shockwave up both of those ramps, gaining a good amount of speed, but being careful to go fairly low on the second ramp so as not to hit the wall when going around the next corner. Diesel Dragon drifts, then shockwaves up that ramp as well, and then again drifts around the next corner and shockwaves out of it. This is essentially what you have to do on this track in high-speed cars like the Chiron. Drift around all the turns, then shockwave out of them, and go up any ramp you see, to put it very basically. Diesel Dragon is careful not to hit any of the trains, and then shockwaves across these rough sections to get up to a high top speed before the next ramp. At this point in the track, the goal is to maintain as much momentum and speed as possible throughout all of these ramps across the water, and Diesel Dragon does it very well and crosses the finish line with a real time of 57.593. Now let's take a look at the run of the winner of the qualifier on iOS, whose Chinese name roughly translates to Sunny Day, so that is how I will be referring to him throughout this video. We can see that he has a very similar start on the track as Diesel Dragon did, saving up for shockwave to go both of these ramps, and goes even lower on the second one to give himself even more time to correct himself before these next couple of turns. We see a slightly different strategy being used here, as he does a 360 and then does not save up for a shockwave, but instead just double nitros straight off the jump. Sunny Days gets extremely close to the wall before shockwaving over this rough patch, with this section looking fairly similar to Diesel Dragon's. But here is where he deviates a little bit from the previous racer. He shockwaves around that turn, but then just goes straight into perfect nitro, unlike Diesel Dragon, who shockwaved over that second part of rough terrain as well. And now again, it's all about the momentum. You just want to keep as much airspeed as possible throughout this section, shockwaving and using the break nitro trick, and Sunny Days crosses the finish line with a final time of 57.295. Now that we've seen both runs individually, as always, I want to compare them side by side slowed down so that we can find any minute differences that might have contributed to the slight difference in time at the end. Like for example, Sunny Day hit that parked traffic car over to the left, which gave him a little bit more nitro, but it also slowed him down slightly. Now those actually canceled each other out, meaning that the two cars are practically neck and neck heading into the uphill section. They take the first ramp almost identically, but as I mentioned previously, Sunny Day goes lower on the second ramp. You can see very clearly here that this gives him more time to maneuver himself around the ground to be at the perfect spot to come out of the turn. Now, one big question I had when looking at these races was, does Sunny Day's 360 here actually make much of a difference? I do not really think so. It might have gained him a frame or so, but he lost some speed when he did the 360 and then gained some when drifting afterwards compared to Diesel Dragon. So again, they practically cancel each other out. However, Sunny Day at this point has managed to pull ever so slightly ahead. He also has a tighter turn here, and then after a shockwave, he actually gets up to a higher speed before the next ramp. This looks like it is shaping up to be another race where nothing really big was different between the ways that the two players raced, but there are just little things that they did do slightly differently that make up frames here and there, and that is why Sunny Day continues to inch further and further ahead of Diesel Dragon. Also, Sunny Day's speed is higher over these train tracks as he decides to stay in perfect nitro instead of shockwaving, and although Diesel Dragon's shockwave does allow him to come out of the turn with slightly higher speed, it doesn't really make up for the amount of time that Sunny Day gained when he was using nitro and Diesel Dragon wasn't. The biggest difference between the two racers that I've seen is that Diesel Dragon seems to like shockwaves a lot more, whereas Sunny Day is content staying in perfect nitro a lot of the time. And after very similar sections on the pier, they both crossed the finish line with Sunny Day just slightly ahead of Diesel Dragon. Again, there is a slight discrepancy in the replay timer, but Sunny Day beat Diesel Dragon by approximately 0.3 of a second. So this wraps up our recap for the Week 3 qualifier. Stay tuned next week for a recap of the fourth and final qualifier before we head into the finals on September 12th. As competition continues to heat up more and more, I cannot wait to see what these players come up with next. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like the video if you have enjoyed, and consider subscribing for more Asphalt and other games content, and I will see you in my next video. Goodbye!